I'll show you a little trick. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't, but it's really helpful to be able to get drilled straight in. So sometimes it's a problem when you go to start a bolt. You think you're straight, but it's not straight. And then you end up with a hole that is not really good. So basically I'm going to show you a technique on how to make a pilot. I'm going to tap a hole. I've got a broken bolt. This bolt broke off. And it's for a idler tension pulley off a Ford 7.3 Powerstroke. So luckily I have a couple threads that are in the block still, so I can screw this in the block. And what we're going to do is we're going to drill a pilot hole through this, down through the center of this, and then I'm going to cut this bolt off. And then you can take that bolt and screw it into the block. And then that will give you a guide for when you go to drill the actual broken bolt out. It'll have a centered area to go in through. So first off, I'm just going to start off with putting this here and taking this punch and getting as close to the center as possible, because that is going to be our pilot. So just kind of eyeball that in. Hopefully that'll be enough for us to get a little drill bit started. And so try to get that lined up straight as possible. I feel like that's centered pretty good. Now we need a drill bit that's good enough to actually drill through here. Let's see if this bit will do anything. Okay, so I'm just going to check. This is the time to make any adjustments. You can kind of steer this bit around. Okay, so I think that's going to be as close to center as I'm going to be able to get that. And now I need to basically drill it straight down and through this. I could cut this and get a center kind of going that way and meet halfway, and hopefully it would straighten it out. If it was a little crooked, that might be a good idea. I think if I can get a good lineup, like that looks really good. This way, I think I can. see about how far we are. I think we're about halfway. So what I want to do is, I feel pretty confident that's going straight through, but if there's any little bit that's off, it will make it off on your on what you're doing. So your pilot, let me just get that in there, and we're just going to start again over on this side now. I'll go with that. Alright, so that is the pilot. This is what is going to screw into the block. And this is what's going to guide your drill bit. So go ahead and screw this into the block. Let's get that in there, a couple threads. And that'll be the guide for your drill bit when you go through into your bolt that's in there. And that will give you a nice centered hole every single time. It'll save you a lot of hassle. If you're using an easy out, your easy out will be centered. That solves a lot of problems. A lot of times if you're off too far on the side, it won't grab the thread. It'll actually grab into the block and it won't turn out right. Or if it does turn out, it turns out kind of crooked. But nothing better than an easy out that goes right dead center and grabs the meat on each side of the bolt. So I just go right through the bolt head, and you saw I switch that around to make sure it comes right out the center, because if you're off a little bit, you won't know till you get down there. So even if it's off a hair in the middle, it'll bridge itself pretty nicely to be able to still come straight through. So now I'm going to go back over and I'm going to screw this into the block. And when it's tightened a couple threads, I'm just going to take this same drill bit that I just drilled this with, because I know if it drilled this, then it will drill through the bolt that's in the block. And I'll start that drill bit just like that, and I will drill in and I'll mark how far I want it to go. Maybe right to the end of that. That should be plenty. And then I can use my easy out to retract it. So anyway, that is the way that I make a pilot, and I hope it helps you out. So it was a great trick. If you know it, awesome. If you just learned it, awesome. It's going to work good for you either way. So we'll see you on the next video.